After I moved out of Jake's place, Chris and I began to plan on how I could get a divorce and also fight for the custody of my child. Spending time with Chris was great. First of all, Chris told me that family shouldn't stop you from achieving your dreams. On the contrary, they should be rooting for you to climb that ladder. He told me I could follow my dreams and still be with my family, that a good family is built on understanding. Spending time with Chris taught me a lot, and I decided to pursue my career back. Firstly, I registered with a gym, and to encourage me, Chris registered too. I began to watch my diets, eat healthy, and exercise regularly. I was gradually getting whipped back into shape. Within a month, I was a beauty back, and this time I was much more beautiful than before. Beatrice, my secretary, who was managing the mall for me, had duped me of a lot of cash and was already planning to relocate. I needed to gather evidence as fast as possible so that I will send her to jail for breaking me, and I will make her pay. I got all the financial records and started working and digging out what happened while I was away. Chris was really of a great help. When I'm in the office, Chris would always help me take care of the baby, since he was the CEO of a brand, so he could work remotely. I gathered up the evidence from the office and called the police to arrest Beatrice and interrogate her. On the day the police were to pick up Beatrice, she was nowhere to be found. I was late. She had already relocated, and so did Jake. 2 days later, some men came to my office in the mall. They said they were from the automobile company that Jake used to work in. They said that Jake is wanted. He duped the company of millions of naira and fled away. They arrested me and wanted to put me in jail till I give them his location. I tried to explain to them that Jake and I are separated, that I was even planning a divorce. I didn't know Jake had already relocated with Beatrice. They refused to listen to me. So before leaving, I called Chris to come to the station. Jake, you are a great curse to me. I cursed the day I met you. You have brought me nothing but pain, and you are a very evil and wicked person, I said to myself. Tears rolled down my cheeks as I was taken to the station. It wasn't up to 5 minutes after I arrived at the station, Chris arrived also. I asked him about the baby, and he told me his mom came around to assist him to babysit. I was relieved, and I was really in tears, begging Chris to save me. I didn't want to sleep in jail. Chris promised me that nothing of such would happen. First, I was a breastfeeding mother. They can't keep me more than 24 hours without evidence. When the CEO of the automobile company arrived at the station, it turned out that the CEO was Chris's friend, and they exchanged pleasantries. Shocked that it was Chris that was involved, the CEO ordered my release and apologized for the way I was treated. I told him, no, I should apologize for that stupid man I got married to. I never knew what a monster he was until now. But don't worry, we will find them together and make them pay for what they did. We decided to use the police. Through warrant, we checked all transport companies for their travelers report. We gave them their full names, but we didn't see their names. Then we checked the only airport in Port Harcourt. They were declared wanted, and all passengers at the airport were checked carefully. We searched for over a week and we still couldn't find clues. Then an idea struck me. I told Chris, they saw ahead of us. They have calculated our movements once we find out, so they wouldn't use the obvious transport system, so let's check the water transport. Chris agreed, and we went to check each seaport, and then alas, we saw their booking to Cameroon. And luckily for us, they weren't far off the seaport. It's like they stayed in an hotel for a while, then just left that morning. The boat station reached out to the boat driver of the boat they boarded, and the driver decided to make a turn back to the port. At this time, the police were already waiting for them. Once they got to the port, they were arrested and charged to court. I finalized my divorce, and I got my money back, though not full, and the automobile got their cash back. They were sentenced to prison with hard labor, and I was free from Jake. I went back to my duplex with my child, and I started my job as an ambassador. This time I advertised for baby clothing, baby diaper brand and baby powder, baby oil and baby accessories brands. I was on my feet again, and all these was possible because of Chris. Chris gave me hope and was my strength throughout my healing and growing period. After a while, yes, you guessed right, Chris and I took our relationship to the next level. Chris took care of my child as his own. We didn't do so much of a big ceremony. We just registered our marriage in court, and then we celebrated with family and friends. Even though I was traumatized from my first marriage to Jake, Chris did all his best to bring me out of that shadows. I found true love with Chris, and there you have it, my very own Cinderella story, with a spice of twist in fate.